To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment, welcome back to Elfster's Rifles Reloading and the review of the Teslong rifle borescope. Now, with full disclosure, this was sent to me for free for test and evaluation purposes, so keep that in mind. You know, I've been on the market for a really decent but inexpensive borescope. I could check out my rifle bores just to see if there's any damage to the bore itself or for cleaning purposes. And I think this really fits the bill for something you can get off Amazon for $49.99 shipped. I think it's a really good product. I've been fooling around with it for some time now. And for something I can hook up to my laptop that feeds direct to my bench TV here, it's an amazing setup, especially for under 50 bucks. So enough of the BS, let's get this going. So I'm going to try my best to fly through the features and what comes with this Teslong borescope and get to what matters most, function and clarity of the borescope itself. First, it comes with this nice little pouch for storage purposes. You can roll that borescope and put it away for storage purposes, so that's nice. It also comes with a couple alcohol prep pads and obviously your directions. So next are the connections. It comes with a micro USB adapter and the USB cable itself, which has your standard USB hookup, and also you can flip this down to hook it up to your phone. Now, as for the USB cable itself, it does have dimmable light controls on it. You know, what I found is just put it on max setting. It seems like the software app that comes with this endoscope has self-adjusting properties on it. And at least for me, I found that if you just put it on max setting, it gives you the clearest and brightest picture. Now, the USB cable hooks up to the borescope itself with this connection fitting, and it's pretty easy. It's threaded, and I'll just quick undo this here for you guys. Now, there's a little red dot on the USB cable itself. You just line this up with the notch on the endoscope and you just screw this home. It really is that easy. As for the endoscope itself, it is 40 inches long, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in on the end of this thing where it matters most on this whole package, and that is its side-facing mirror. In my opinion, if your borescope doesn't have this mirror to look at the actual side of your bore, in my opinion, it's worthless. Now, what's really nice about this, especially for $49.99 shipped, is it has this little coupler on here so you can focus this mirror on your bore, your specific bore. Each bore is going to be a little bit different. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit better. But it has this little coupler that threads back and forth. So let me screw this mirror off and see this little coupler. That is also threaded, and you can thread it all the way back and all the way out. And you're going to want to play with this little coupler and adjust this mirror in and out for the best possible clarity. And trust me when I say this, you're going to want to play around with this to get the best possible picture on your screen. So I have found if you screw it all the way in, it's pretty bad. You want to back this thing off a little bit. You're going to want to play around with it. Depending on your rifle's bore, the diameter of it, you name it, you're just going to play around with this a little bit. And I have found roughly about, I would say, maybe about 1/8 of an inch off the back side here. If you screw that coupler out and then you screw this mirror all the way down till it hits that coupler, the focus on it is amazing. I'm actually quite impressed for what this little thing does for $49.99 shipped. Now, like I was saying before, if your borescope doesn't have a side mirror to actually inspect the side of your bore, in my opinion, I think it's worthless. But it does have some LED lights at the end here, and it flashes off this little mirror so you can inspect your rifle's bore. It's pretty simple, and it's pretty amazing for how inexpensive you can get this borescope for. Now, there was a note in the product descriptions on Amazon for this particular product. They do have a note on here, a notice that says this model does not support iPhone or iPad. So if you have an Apple product, you might be a little SOL. The only thing I've hooked this up to is my Windows 10 laptop. And I did have an issue trying to plug this into the 2.0 USB hookup, and it did not work. I had to hook it up to my 3.0 USB input, and it worked just fine. So this might be something to call Teslong on if you're having questions about compatibility. And who knows, these notes could be old and they might have updates so this works for your particular phone or laptop, especially if you're using Apple products. Now I'm using my Rock River Arms 20-inch varmint bull barrel. You know, it's got a really nice stainless steel barrel on it. If you guys have watched my channel in the past, you most likely know I'm kind of a firm believer of not cleaning your rifle until it needs to be cleaned. I really believe in copper fouling, and carbon fouling does help improve accuracy. It helps fill in those little pits and imperfections in the barrel, and I typically will not clean my rifle's bore until the rifle's bore tells me that it needs to be cleaned. And usually that's around 300 to 500 rounds, and each rifle bore is completely different. You really need to listen to your rifle in regards to accuracy and how it's printing on paper downrange. Now, for you guys, I mildly clean this, so I'm sure my accuracy is going to fall back off until this rifle bore can get refouled. But I did clean it a little bit, not a lot, but anyway, blah, 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 let's get this going. Now, before we start, you need to download the software for your laptop, or you need to download the app for your phone. Now, obviously I'm going to be using this at my bench with my laptop. So for a particular laptop here, they do have directions to go to this particular website address to download the software so you can use this borescope. And it is, see here, http://gto.so/nte.zip. And it is going to start up a zip file here. And all you're gonna do is, it's in a zip file. You just, at least for me, I just dragged it out of the folder here onto my desktop. You can see I've already done this. So I'm gonna redo this here. And then you just open this up, and the actual NTE folder is in there that you just drag off. And it's gonna ask to replace this file destination, which I've already done. So I'm not going to do that again. So inside that NTE file, there's 3 apps here. Right now I'm just using the endoscope camera, and I put that little icon on my desktop. So I can drag this over here. And once you double click on this, at least for Windows products, it's going to ask you to verify to run this. And I did double check this with AVG for viruses, and looks good so far. So I'm going to double click and run this. So I'm going to hook up this borescope to the 3.0 input on my laptop. Let's see, try to get some move this out of the way here. And it comes right up, at least for me. And I've tried the other 2.0 input and it did not work. I had to use the specific 3.0 USB input. And I don't know if there is a software update for this to make it work with 2.0, but at least for my laptop, it did not work. So I'm gonna blow this up on my screen. Now they have some tabs down here, for setting. If you want to play around with the device, you can actually look through your laptop's camera. Obviously we're going to be putting on the Teslong camera, and you can play with your video format. They do have it in 720p, so HD resolution, so that's nice. They do have some advanced settings, but for me, I just got it on default. There is one thing I did change. I did change it to 60 hertz because I'm running my laptop and my monitor at 60 hertz. That is something I did change. And what is really nice about this is you can record video and take photos. I'm actually going to record video here for you. I'm going to put this right in the video so you guys can see it right up front and personal. And that is an awesome feature. And one other thing that I did to make this easy for me, at least for making my videos, is I made a endoscope vid and pictures folder right on my desktop so I can easily find it. It's not buried into my C drive. And you can easily change the place where you can save your videos and pictures by just clicking on that particular file, and that is an awesome feature. Like I was saying before, you got dim controls here, so I can make this as bright as possible, or I can shut it completely off. I have found that if you just put on its most brightest setting, that's best possible. It seems like this software has self-adjusting properties to it, and it seems, at least for me, I got the best results just having it on the brightest setting. So let me turn off these lights in the back so you can see the screen better. And also let me break down this Rock River Arms AR so we can check out the rifle bore and see how good of a mild cleaning I did on this rifle. Now before you start, they do provide some alcohol swabs. You're going to want to make sure that that mirror is crystal clear, and I'm taking one of my microfibers here, making sure that that mirror has no lint on it, there's no smudges, there's nothing clogged in the end of the borescope itself, and that looks pretty darn good. Now before you do anything, you're going to want to play around with that focus. So what you're going to want to do is play around with that coupler, and you want to screw this out, and you're going to want to play around with this to see what creates the clearest picture for your particular bore. And you're going to be really careful inserting this into your barrel, especially you don't want to damage that crown. But man, I would say that is pretty darn clear there, and that is really impressive for something that costs less than $50 shipped to your front door. So I'm going to see if I can play around with this just a little bit more. So just remember, there's a little coupler here that when you screw this out, you move the coupler up to it and then screw this back down to lock it down. And man, that is amazing for 50 bucks shipped. And it looks like I did a pretty decent job here. So you can actually twist this around a little bit. So we're going to check out this crown here right at the end of the barrel. So there's my crown. I can twist this around. You can inspect the rifling right up to the crown. And man, that barrel is actually pretty darn clean for just using foam bore cleaner. That's not bad, and that crown looks really good. So wow, that is pretty impressive. So what you guys are seeing here, obviously this is this looking down the bore itself, and this is the mirror. And if you don't have a mirror on your borescope to inspect the side of your bore, and you just have a borescope that looks just down the bore, in my opinion, that's worthless. You gotta have that mirror so you can inspect the side of that bore. And I'm gonna see if I can find, looks like I got a little bit of copper right there. I'm gonna spin this around. I don't think it's copper, actually. I think it's a little piece of something. I'm not sure what it is. But you can actually check out your gas port. What you can do is just take your borescope here, and this has some memory to it, you know. It's flexible, but it does have some memory, and that's kind of nice. I like the fact that you can spin this thing around and inspect your barrel all the way 360 degrees. Now if you want to check out your gas port, I'm just going to gauge this on the outside, and I'm going to insert it till my thumb hits the muzzle here. We can spin this around and see if I can find that gas port. There it is, right there's my gas port. That's the first time I've looked at that. Well, it looks like I got a little bit of erosion on my gas port, but I tell you, this Rock River Arbs 20-inch varmint bull barrel is a tack driver, and that is pretty amazing. I'm going to play around with this brightness setting to show you guys. You can lower this all the way down to nothing, or you can increase it. I just put it at max there, and that's pretty darn clear. I can spin this around right around where that gas port is. You can see the gas port here. So I'm going to see if I can get you a little bit closer to the screen so you can see that just a little bit better. When I get too close, it seems like this gets pixelated somewhat, but I'll try and insert this back in. There's the crown again. Looks like I got a little bit of hair there. So, I mean, that it is that clear. Hair. Got some lint there. And that is pretty amazing. Now before we head out here, I just want to show you guys the record video feature that's in this software. So I'm going to click on record video, and you'll see a new file pops up right here, and I'm going to insert this into the crown, and I'm going to direct feed this video feed to you guys right now. I'm going to edit it in right now. And here is the crown. I think what I'm going to try and do is follow this individual rifling right down to the chamber. So I'm kind of spinning this ever so slightly as I go down the rifle bore. Here's the gas port. I'll swing over and check this out for you guys. Back on that rifling. I'm spinning this ever so slightly as I go down the rifle bore. And right there is the lands of that individual rifling. Here's the free bore. Here's the neck of the chamber itself, end of the barrel, and the lugs of this AR barrel. Okay, we'll hit stop. I'll bring you guys back to reality land. I'm going to hit stop. And I can close this down, bring up that folder, and here's record 6. Drag it to my desktop, and I can double click that, and there you go. It is pretty amazing. So if you want to go back and check this out, I can pause it, back up, go forward, and what's even better, at least for me, in my firearm videos, if I want to show you guys the bore of that particular firearm, I can put it right in my video for you guys, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Well, I think this Teslong rifle borescope is definitely going to fit the bill for me, especially for something I could hook up to my laptop and get a direct feed on my 40-inch screen right at my bench. And I think that is awesome, especially for something under $50 that can ship right to your front door. Also, I'm going to put one of my affiliate links in the description box below if you guys are interested in getting this product. And I just want to be crystal clear with you guys, I did get this for free as a test evaluation product. And also, if you do click on that link and make that purchase, it costs nothing to you, but I do get a little bit of affiliate kickback from Amazon. It's maybe $1 or $2, and that's about it. But it does help my channel out tremendously. Some other ways to help support my content, because the good old YT is not making it easy for guys like me, is to check out my Facebook page. I got a tremendous amount of awesome deals on there, and even better, you can become a Patreon. Check out that Patreon account of mine and become a Patreon. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video.